Right now, as you're watching this, you're doing something extraordinary that you've been taught to ignore. You're broadcasting. Like a radio tower, like a Wi-Fi signal, like a star radiating light into space, you are constantly emitting an energetic frequency that ripples out into the world around you. And that frequency isn't just information, it's creative force, it's magnetic power. It's literally shaping the reality you experience. You've felt it before, when you walk into a room and instantly know something is off, even though nothing visible has changed. When someone's mood shifts the entire atmosphere without them saying a word. When you think of someone and they immediately call. When you're in a great state and opportunities start appearing everywhere. That's not coincidence. That's not luck. That's your energy doing what it's always done. Creating, attracting, manifesting, working like magic because it is magic. The word magic originally meant the ability to influence reality through invisible means, through forces that can't be seen but can definitely be felt, through power that operates beyond the physical. And by that definition, your energy is the most powerful magic you possess. But you've been taught to dismiss it, to focus only on what's visible, measurable, provable, to believe that action is the only thing that matters. That energy is just a woo-woo concept with no real impact. And so, you've been walking around with a superpower you don't even know you're using. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will change everything about how you move through the world. You're about to discover that you're not just living in reality, you're generating it with every frequency you broadcast. And once you learn to consciously direct that energy, life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you command. Chapter 1. The field you generate. Let me tell you a truth that science has confirmed, but society still refuses to acknowledge. You're not contained within your skin. Your energy field extends far beyond your physical body. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart alone can be measured up to 15 feet away. And that's just what current instruments can detect. The actual field of your consciousness extends infinitely. Every thought you think creates an electrical impulse. Every emotion you feel generates a frequency. Every belief you hold broadcasts a signal. And all of this is radiating outward constantly, interacting with the energy fields of everything around you. This isn't metaphysics. This is physics. Quantum physics shows us that at the fundamental level, everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your body, your thoughts, your emotions, the chair you're sitting on, the air you're breathing, all of it is energy in different patterns of vibration. And energy responds to energy. It's attracted to similar frequencies and repelled by incompatible ones. This is resonance. This is how tuning forks work, how radio waves function, how everything in the universe organizes itself into harmonic patterns. You are a living tuning fork. The frequency you emit determines what frequencies you attract back. And because you're conscious, because you have awareness and intention, you can choose what frequency to broadcast. Most people don't choose. They default. They broadcast whatever frequency their conditioning programmed them with, whatever emotional state they habitually occupy, whatever beliefs they absorbed from childhood, and then they wonder why the same patterns keep showing up in their life. It's not mysterious, it's resonance. You're attracting experiences that match your energetic signature. You're calling in people who vibrate at your frequency. You're manifesting situations that reflect your internal state back to you, not because the universe is punishing you or testing you, because energy seeks its own level. This is the first secret of energy magic, understanding that you're not a victim of circumstances. You're a broadcaster of frequency, and whatever you're consistently broadcasting is what you're magnetizing into your experience. Think about the people you know who seem to have incredible luck. Things just work out for them. Opportunities appear. The right people show up. Problems solve themselves. What's their secret? It's not that they're special or chosen. It's that they're broadcasting a frequency of possibility, of expectation, of openness. And reality responds to that frequency by delivering matching experiences. Now think about people who seem cursed. Nothing ever works for them. They expect problems, and problems arrive. They anticipate disappointment, and disappointment shows up. Same mechanism, different frequency. They're broadcasting lack, limitation, fear, and reality is faithfully reflecting that frequency back to them. You're doing the same thing right now, in this moment. You're broadcasting a frequency that's shaping what happens next in your life. The question is, are you broadcasting consciously or unconsciously? Are you choosing your frequency or defaulting to old patterns? Because once you understand that your energy is magic, once you realize you're constantly creating through the field you generate, everything becomes a choice. Every thought becomes powerful. Every emotion becomes creative. Every state becomes a decision about what you're about to attract. Chapter 2. The Alchemy of Emotion. Here's what they never taught you about emotions. They're not just feelings. They're frequencies, pure energetic transmissions that broadcast your state into the quantum field and call back matching experiences. Every emotion you feel is literally a chemical and electrical event. Hormones flood your system. Neurons fire in specific patterns. Your heart rhythm changes. Your breathing shifts. Your entire biology reconfigures itself to match the emotional state. And all of that creates a frequency that radiates outward. Joy broadcasts at a different frequency than fear. Love vibrates differently than anger. Gratitude generates a different field than resentment. And the universe, being pure energy itself, responds to whatever frequency you're emitting. This is why emotional mastery is the ultimate power. Not suppressing emotions, not pretending to feel what you don't feel, but understanding that emotions are creative tools and learning to consciously choose which ones you energize. Most people are controlled by their emotions. Something happens, and they react. Someone says something, and they get triggered. Life delivers an outcome they didn't want, and they collapse into disappointment. They're at the mercy of their emotional responses, which means they're at the mercy of their circumstances. But emotions aren't reactions. They're choices. Not easy choices, not always comfortable choices, but choices nonetheless. You can feel the impulse toward anger and choose to channel it differently. You can notice fear arising and decide not to feed it. You can recognize you're in a low-frequency state and actively shift yourself higher. This is alchemy. Taking one energy and transforming it into another. Taking fear and converting it to excitement. Taking anger and redirecting it into focused action. Taking sadness and allowing it to deepen into compassion. You're not denying the emotion. You're transmuting it. Ancient alchemists weren't just trying to turn lead into gold. They were using that as a metaphor for transforming low-frequency states into high-frequency ones. for taking dense, heavy energy and refining it into something luminous and valuable. They understood that consciousness is the philosopher's stone, the tool that can transform any energy into any other energy. And you have this tool right now, in every moment. You can feel yourself dropping into a low state and consciously shift, not through positive thinking or forced affirmations, through actual energetic transmutation, through breathing into the state, acknowledging it, and then making a deliberate choice to move your frequency. High-frequency emotions, joy, love, gratitude, excitement, peace. These aren't just nice feelings. They're power states. When you're in these frequencies, you're literally magnetic. Opportunities flow to you. People want to be around you. Solutions appear. Life works. Low-frequency emotions, fear, anger, resentment, shame, guilt. These aren't bad or wrong, but they're contractive. When you're in these states, you're broadcasting signals that attract more reasons to feel that way. You're in a loop, creating more of what you don't want, because that's the frequency you're emitting. The magic is in the choice. Every moment, you can check your frequency. Ask yourself, what am I broadcasting right now? What energy am I putting out? What am I calling back to myself through the state I'm in? And if you don't like the answer, you can change it, not by denying how you feel, but by consciously choosing to shift your energy. This is the alchemy. This is the magic. This is how you stop being controlled by emotions and start using them as the creative tools they actually are. Chapter 3. The magnetism of presence. There's a quality certain people have that's impossible to define but unmistakable when you encounter it. They walk into a room and the energy changes. They speak, and you feel compelled to listen. They're not necessarily the loudest or the most attractive or the most accomplished, but there's something about them that draws you in. That something is presence, fully embodied, conscious, deliberate presence. And it's the most magnetic force in existence. Most people are not present. They're physically here, but energetically scattered. Part of them is in the past, replaying old stories. Part of them is in the future, worrying about what might happen. Part of them is in their phone, their thoughts, their distractions. They're divided, fragmented, broadcasting a weak, diffused signal. But when someone is fully present, when all of their energy is gathered into this moment, they become a concentrated field of power. Nothing is leaking, nothing is scattered. Every bit of their consciousness is right here, right now, fully engaged with what is. And that creates a gravitational pull. This is why presence is magnetic, because energy follows attention. Where you place your awareness, your power goes. And when all of your awareness is gathered into the present moment, all of your power is accessible. You're not draining energy into past regrets or future anxieties. You're fully charged, fully alive, fully here. People feel this. They may not consciously understand what they're feeling, but they sense it. Your presence creates a field that others are drawn to, because presence is rare. Most people are so fractured, so divided, that encountering someone who's fully integrated is like finding water in a desert. And this isn't just about how others perceive you. This is about your creative power. The magic of your energy works through presence. When you're scattered, your broadcasts are mixed signals. The universe doesn't know what you actually want because you're sending contradictory frequencies. But when you're present, your signal is clear, coherent, powerful. You're no longer diluting your creative force, by spreading it across time. You're concentrating it into now. And now is where creation happens, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Right now, in this moment, where your consciousness meets reality and shapes it through attention. This is why meditation practices exist, not to achieve some transcendent state or escape from life, but to train you in presence, to teach you how to gather your scattered energy and bring it fully into the moment. Because that's where your power lives. That's where the magic happens. When you're fully present, you notice things others miss. Subtle cues, synchronicities, opportunities, because you're actually here to perceive them. When you're present, you respond rather than react, because you have the space to choose instead of being triggered by conditioning. When you're present, you create deliberately instead of accidentally. Because you're conscious of what you're broadcasting, the practice is simple, but not easy. Throughout your day, keep bringing yourself back. Notice when your mind has wandered into past or future. Don't judge it. Just return. Bring your awareness back to your body, back to your breath, back to this moment, back to here and now. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the aliveness moving through your body. This is presence. This is power. This is the state where your energy becomes pure magic because it's not diluted by division. And watch what happens. Watch how people respond differently to you. Watch how opportunities start appearing. Watch how life begins to flow more easily, not because anything external changed, because you gathered your energy into presence, and presence is the most magnetic frequency there is. Chapter 4, The Power of Energetic Boundaries. Here's something nobody teaches you about energy. You're not just broadcasting, you're also receiving. And most people are absorbing energy from everything around them without even realizing it. You walk into a space and absorb the emotional residue left there. You interact with someone who's in a low state and take on their frequency. You scroll through news or social media and absorb the collective anxiety being broadcast through those channels. And by the end of the day, you're drained, heavy, feeling like you're carrying weights you can't see. Because you are. You're carrying energy that isn't yours. And this is one of the biggest energy leaks that most people never address. They focus on what they're putting out, but they never protect what's coming in. This is where energetic boundaries become essential, not walls, not barriers that disconnect you from others, but conscious filters that allow you to choose what energy you allow into your field and what energy you deflect. Empaths understand this challenge intimately. They feel everything, everyone's pain, everyone's emotions, the energy of every room they enter. And without boundaries, they get overwhelmed, depleted, unable to distinguish their own feelings from what they're picking up from others. But this isn't just an empath issue. Everyone is absorbing energy constantly. The difference is some people are conscious of it, and most aren't. Most people just feel inexplicably drained or heavy or anxious and don't realize they're carrying frequencies that don't belong to them. The magic of healthy boundaries is that they allow you to be open without being porous, to be compassionate without being a sponge, to stay in your power while interacting with others who may be in very different states. And boundaries aren't just emotional or interpersonal. They're also about what you expose yourself to, what you watch, what you read, what you listen to. All of it carries frequency. All of it affects your field And if you're unconsciously consuming low-frequency content, you're lowering your own vibration without realizing it. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or avoiding anything uncomfortable. It means being conscious, being deliberate, choosing what energy you engage with and what energy you decline, recognizing that your field is precious and protecting it is not selfish, it's essential. Ancient spiritual practices understood this. They created sacred spaces, performed cleansing rituals, used protection prayers and visualizations, not because they were superstitious, because they understood that energy is real, that it affects you, and that you need to actively maintain your frequency if you want to keep it high. You can do the same. Simple practices make a profound difference. Visualizing yourself surrounded by light before entering challenging situations, consciously releasing energy that's not yours at the end of the day. Spending time in nature to recalibrate. Using breathwork to clear your field. Setting clear intentions about what you will and won't absorb. And here's what's powerful. When you have strong boundaries, when you're not leaking energy or absorbing everyone else's, your own magic becomes exponentially more powerful because all of your energy is yours, available for your creations, focused on your intentions, not diluted by carrying what doesn't belong to you. People will feel this too. Some will respect it. Some will resist it because they were unconsciously feeding off your energy. That's information. That's clarity about who's actually aligned with you and who was just draining you. Your energy is your most valuable resource, more valuable than your time, your money, your attention, because your energy is the source of all of those. Without energy, you can't create, you can't show up, you can't broadcast the frequencies that attract what you desire. Protect it, guard it, be discerning about where you spend it and what you allow to affect it. This isn't being closed or defensive. This is being a conscious steward of your magic. This is recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup and you can't broadcast high frequencies if you're full of low ones that aren't even yours. Chapter 5. Becoming a conscious creator. Everything we've explored leads to this, the recognition that you're not just experiencing reality. You're generating it. With every frequency you broadcast, with every emotion you feel, with every state you occupy, you're literally creating what comes next. This is the ultimate magic, not manipulation, not control, but conscious creation through deliberate management of your energy. And once you truly understand this, once you integrate it, you stop being a reactor and become a creator. Most people live in reaction mode. Something happens. They respond emotionally. That emotion broadcasts a frequency. That frequency attracts matching circumstances, which trigger more reactions, which broadcast more frequencies. It's a loop, an unconscious cycle where they're constantly creating more of what they don't want because they're not aware of what they're broadcasting. But you can break the loop right now by making one decision, the decision to become conscious of your energy, to pay attention to what state you're in, to notice what frequency you're emitting, to recognize when you've dropped into a low vibration and actively choose to shift. This isn't about being positive all the time. It's about being conscious, being deliberate, being the active director of your energy instead of a passive victim of circumstances. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to be perfect at this. You're going to have low days. You're going to drop into fear or doubt or frustration. That's human. That's allowed. But the difference is you'll catch yourself. You'll notice. You'll recognize that you're in a creative state even when you're in a low state. And that awareness gives you the power to choose differently. The practice is moment by moment. Wake up and consciously choose your frequency. Throughout the day, check in with yourself. What energy am I carrying right now? What am I broadcasting? What am I likely to attract if I stay in this state? And if the answer doesn't feel good, shift. Breathe. Move your body. Change your focus. Do whatever it takes to raise your frequency. Because every moment is an opportunity. Every breath is a chance to broadcast something new. Every state is a decision about what you're creating next. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. The more you start defaulting to high frequencies instead of low ones, the more your life begins to reflect the magic you're consciously generating. You'll start noticing that reality responds to you differently, that opportunities appear that weren't there before, that people are drawn to you, that problems solve themselves, that what you need shows up right when you need it. And it's not luck, it's not grace, though it may feel like it. It's your energy doing what it does, creating, attracting, manifesting, working as magic. This is your power. This is your birthright. This is what you've always had, but were never taught to use consciously. Your energy is magic, pure creative force that shapes reality based on the frequencies you emit. And now you know. Now you understand. Now you can stop accidentally creating and start consciously commanding. Now you can stop being a passive receiver of whatever life delivers and start being an active generator of what you desire. The figure on the cover of this ancient tome stands before a radiating sun, arms raised, channeling pure, luminous energy. That figure represents what you're becoming, a conscious conduit of creative force, a deliberate broadcaster of frequency, a master of the magic that was always yours. You've been walking through life with a superpower you didn't know you had, broadcasting frequencies, creating realities, attracting experiences, all while believing you were just responding to what happened to you. But now the veil has lifted. Now you see the truth. Your energy is not just part of you. It is you at the most fundamental level. Beyond your body, beyond your thoughts, beyond your identity, you are consciousness expressing as energy. And that energy is constantly creating through the frequencies it broadcasts into the field. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. This is the mechanism, the actual way reality works. And once you understand it, once you start consciously working with it, everything changes. So from this moment forward, pay attention. Notice your state. Feel your frequency. Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I broadcasting right now? And if you don't like the answer, change it. Shift your energy. Raise your frequency. Choose the state that matches what you want to create. Because every moment is a choice. Every breath is an opportunity. Every state is a creative act. And you are far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. Your energy is magic, not someday. Not when you learn enough or heal enough or become enough. Right now, as you are. The magic is already working. The only question is whether you're using it consciously or unconsciously. The sun radiates without effort. The stars shine without trying. The earth spins without struggle. And you broadcast without thinking about it. That's how natural this is. That's how fundamental. You're already doing it. You're already creating through your energy. Now you're just going to do it on purpose, with awareness, with intention, with the full recognition of your creative power. Wake up your magic, choose your frequency, broadcast deliberately, and watch as reality bends to reflect the energy you consciously generate. You are the magic you've been searching for. You always were. Welcome home to your power.